Dog at the welterweight division, and he gotta take a back seat and take that 60-40 or 70-30, wherever we give him.
If we fight, it's going to be either 70-30, 80-20. Was that?
Man, I was when I said
posturing or what was that?
When did I say that?
You know, that was.
Yeah, I said it on my girl Instagram. What's going? But I was playing. Hey, man, nobody taking no 80-20, 70-30. Yeah, I was playing. I was like, because I was like, it's gonna be 60-40, and I was like, yeah, he keep playing crazy. It's gonna be 70-30 or 80-20. But yeah, I was playing. Like, I wasn't serious about that, man. Like, people can't take jokes.
I was fooling y'all. Those was jokes. Woo!
Man, sit your ass down.
So what I do, YouTube? It's your boy King David in this thing, and I'm back at y'all again with another video. Okay, so before we get going on the video, man, y'all know what to do. Go on ahead, hit the like button, and if you're new here, be sure to subscribe one time for your boy, so we can continue to grow like we need to grow on this channel. You know what I mean? And while you're at it, man, be sure to check out the merch, man. We got some fire merch out there for you, man. Sweaters, hoodies, mugs, all kind of stuff out there for you, man. So be sure to check out the merch, though. And while you're at it, be sure to go ahead and check out the perks for the membership as well. You know what I mean? Support the channel. Y'all know what time it is, bro. Alright, so cool. With all that out the window, man, y'all see what the title of the video is, man.
Spence knows he can't beat
Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford are reportedly in negotiations directly? Alright, let's talk about this shit, y'all. Okay, so according to Michael Benson, Errol Spence and Terence Crawford are reportedly now in negotiations with each other directly over the phone and have agreed to a purse split. Spence versus Thurman and Crawford versus Rocha expected next, but progress for Spence versus Crawford 2023, according to Mike Coppinger. Okay, so that's the report. Okay, so my first thought hearing this is that this ain't nothing but the same shit, different toilet, bro. Right? This ain't nothing but the same shit, different toilet. We always get these reports, updates on top of updates, on top of updates, on top of updates. We got the update about the update, for the update, in regards to the update, that has everything to do with the update. So many updates on this fight. But at the end of the day, they all lead nowhere. Right? And this ain't nothing but another update. Right? This ain't nothing but another update. And I have no faith in these updates at this particular point in time. Right? So my initial thoughts when I hear this is that this is another update. Update number 472. In which case, the fight still ain't happening, right? All these updates and the fight still ain't happening. You know what I mean? So, you know, those are my initial thoughts about this, right? But then as I begin to think a little bit further about this recent update, right? I can't help but notice the part in the update that refers to Crawford and Spence negotiating directly. And I'm just like, huh? Directly? Like, that shit right there in itself makes zero sense. Errol Spence wasn't present at all during the initial negotiations, right? He wasn't present at all. So how you go from not being present at all to now being the one that's leading the negotiations this time around with a Bud Crawford? That makes zero sense. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, I mean, we know with these PBC guys, we know that every single time they're confronted about a fight happening directly, they are always telling people to talk to Al, talk to Al. talk to Al. We just recently got something from Boots Ennis where his father was saying that he got to talk to Showtime. You got to talk to this guy. If you want to fight me, you got to talk to this guy. You got to talk to that guy. You got to talk to this guy on the right side. You got to talk to that guy. You got to talk to him. Don't talk to me. Don't ask me if I want to fight. Talk to this guy, and he'll tell you whether or not I want to fight. Right? That's how these dudes operate on the PBC side for the most part. So when I hear that they're negotiating directly, but everything up until now has been talk to Al Heyman, it makes me very suspicious about the credibility of this 456th update, right? Now, the third thought that I have when I hear this news is, isn't it interesting that every time Errol Spence is getting ready to fight somebody other than Terence Bud Crawford, we always hear about some kind of negotiation between Terence Crawford and Errol Spence going on in the background? Isn't it interesting how that always happens every time Errol Spence is getting ready to fight anybody besides Terence Bud Crawford? Isn't that interesting? Isn't it interesting how every single time Errol Spence is getting ready to fight a guy we don't care about, we always hear about how there's some kind of negotiation going on in the background between him and Bud. But come to find out, that ain't what's happening. Right? Let me take y'all attention back to when Errol Spence decided to fight Ugas. Let me remind y'all that at that time, Bud Crawford was a free agent. He had just got through with Sean Porter. He was a free agent, right? At that particular time would have been a great time to make the fight, considering the fact that Errol Spence had been complaining years prior about Bud Crawford being on the wrong side of the street and blame Bob and yakety schmackety, blase squaze, right? So with Bud being a promotional free agent, that was a perfect time to make the fight with Errol Spence Jr., right? But at that particular time, Errol Spence and his team decided that they wanted to fight Yordenis Ugas, right? But we kept hearing at that time that Bud Crawford and Errol Spence were negotiating because Bud was a free agent. Errol didn't have to fight Ugas before fighting a Bud Crawford. So it made all the sense in the world in order to make that fight. And to add more fuel to the fire, Ugas had actually gotten tied up in a WBA tournament, right? So Ugas was ordered by the WBA to fight Stanionis at that particular time. So Bud was available. Bud and Errol was available. Ugas was occupied. And we didn't hear anything for a while. And then all you heard was that Bud and Errol are negotiating. Right? And everybody made the same goofy ass arguments talking about, well, the reason that they didn't announce Spence versus Ugas is because they're working on the Terence Crawford fight. Right? Because that fight took long to be announced, just like this fight with Thurman is taking long to be announced. But what y'all fail to see is that this is the formula for the PBC. This is what they do. They announce fights a month before the actual fight, right? But for the sake of reference, let's just go back to that particular time. Everybody was speculating on the Crawford fight getting done, right? In place of the Ugas fight, because Ugas was occupied. Crawford was available. That was a bigger fight. That was a more meaningful fight. And then come to find out, March 2nd, which is approximately a month and a week before the scheduled Errol Spence fight, we get an announcement that Errol Spence is fighting Yordenis Ugas in a unification fight instead of a Terence Bud Crawford. It's crazy because these dudes put out these reports as if we're really supposed to forget that Errol Spence petitioned the WBC to allow himself to fight at 154 pounds, right? For the WBC title. And then also petition the WBA to give him extra time in order to hold on to that belt before defending that belt, right? It's if these dudes put out these reports as if we all forgot about that, right? As if we all forgot that Errol Spence went out of his way to fight Keith Thurman at 154 pounds. I'm pretty sure that wasn't free. I'm pretty sure they had to put some money up as far as to the WBC and the WBA in order to give Errol Spence those privileges, right? It's like they want us to forget that. It's like they want us to forget that Errol Spence only fight one time every 18 months, right? Rest assured that if he's fighting in 2023, the nigga more than likely ain't fighting again until 2024. Are we supposed to forget that? Are we supposed to forget the years and years of history that Errol Spence has of fighting at very most once a year? Are we supposed to forget that? So all of a sudden, they gonna make 2 fights in 1 year when they haven't done it for the last 5 years? Y'all gotta make this shit make sense, bro. Y'all gotta make it make sense. But I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna wrap it up right here, bro. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, do I believe that Terence Bud Crawford and Errol Spence are talking? I'm sure they talking. Shit, they probably play online Madden or 2K together or something like that. You know what I mean? Shit, they probably play Call of Duty online and shit on PS5. They probably do some shit like that. But do I believe that they're actually trying to make a fight? Do I actually believe that Errol Spence is trying to negotiate a fight without Al Heyman? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Not Mr. Call Al Heyman. Not Mr. wasn't involved in the initial negotiations at all. Right? Hell no, I don't believe that shit. But let me know your thoughts, bro. Hit it up in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And everybody, and I do mean everybody, be sure to hit that goddamn like button on your way out. But until next time, bro, I'ma holla at y'all. Peace.